what you got to say the first time, not the next time. Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, Corey J, for another episode of To Be Frank, the podcast. Frankly speaking, it had to be said. Look, y'all know I'm always excited to see y'all for another episode of To Be Frank. Though this episode, this brother and I, we have a lot of history, a lot of history. He's a hometown hero. He's from my hometown, the Opelousas, Louisiana. Big Op. I don't say that often, but I'm from the Opelousas, Old Town. Hold it down, Old Town. Hold it down. So before I go any further, let me just go ahead and bring this man on in, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, David Sylvester.
Hello,
Insert audio effect.
It's good to be here.
It's great to have you, David. So first things first, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the To Be Frank family and let them know a little bit about you, where you're from, and what you do.
Oh, well, To Be Frank family, my name is David Sylvester, and I am a musician. I'm from Opelousas, Louisiana. I like to tell people, I was raised a little barefoot, cornbread fed country boy in the church house. So, like I was raised in the church doing music. Got my first job in the church playing the keyboard when I was 14, and I've kind of been doing that ever since. And now my music is leading me outside of the church house. So it's really, really fun to
Come on, show up and show out.
Yeah,
Ooh, like they say, you singing that secular music.
I am. People call it secular, but I still be giving reverence to God.
Come on now.
Yeah,
look, that's what it is. It's a love language.
I don't call it secular.
Come on now. Let people gonna be people. The people is people. That's what they do. People.
It's fine. I sing what I want.
I know that's funny.
At the end of the day, if I can have a conversation about it, then I can put it in a song. So
so definitely. So as y'all know, To Be Frank fam, every episode has a spontaneous title, and this title is called The Right Note. And the reason
that's funny.
And the reason why I call it The Right Note, so first and foremost, David and I, our history goes way back. I've been knowing David over 20 years. I'm not trying to tell my age, but y'all do the math.
And I'm only 23, so I'm just playing.
See how he trying to put me out there bad? He just down bad. Just down bad. And David has always been just that man. He's an incredible man that has vocals out of this world. Like, I'm going to be honest, he is truly one of my top male singers. Wow. And y'all know I love music. And when it comes down to live music, David gets me every single time. Like, literally, he could sing the alphabet. And I'm like, sir, you better sing WXYZ. Sing it. Sing it. But but he has that appeal on him to get you really in tune on his music and his notes and all of that good stuff. So let's dive right on into this interview. So first things first, tell us, how did your music journey first start?
Oh, it started so funny. As far back as I can remember, I was sitting on the floor in my living room in front of the big box television that we used to have, because my mom
on box TV.
Yeah, it was very big. We had a VHS player.
Okay.
And my mom started buying me the Disney princess movies or whatever. So that's my first memory of me being obsessed with singing, because I would watch like movies like what my top 3 was: The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and The Lion King.
Gotcha.
I love the movies, but the music in the movies, that's the thing that really caught me. Oh, and The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
And I used to like watch these movies sitting like, right next to the TV, so that when I would get to the part with the song, I would sing the song and I would rewind it about 2 or 3 times every time I would get to and then after I had enough of that one song, I would continue watching, and then I get to the next song.
This sounds just like David. You just don't know.
Get to the next song, I would rewind and sing it over and over again, then I go on to that until I get to the end of the movie. And I would do that like every day. I have every evening. I have my different movies I would watch.
Do you recall your very first Disney movie?
I want to say, I don't know what my very first one was, but my favorite was The Little Mermaid. And I used to, I burnt that up. Like, I loved it because the music in it was so, there you see, like all of the music in it was just so beautiful. And to this day, I could sing the songs, myself playing just because, but I don't remember my first one though.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think my first one was the 101 Dalmatians, to be honest, and I didn't like it. I don't really care for that.
He
that
wasn't chilling. He wasn't for Cruella de Vil. You wasn't having it.
No. I actually like. Let me say, I like evil villain women. So I could deal with Cruella.
He's starting already, y'all.
I do. I love a villain. I love a woman. Speaking of X-Men '97, I'm gonna just shout them out because X-Men came back, and if y'all didn't check it out, the new X-Men, but it's like based on the old series that was the cartoon that was out in the '90s.
Okay.
And on the last episode, which was episode 3, Jean Grey turned into a villain. So I love a woman villain, bad girl. I'm not gonna cuss on air. I like a bad woman. But so Cruella was everything. It's just the music in the 101 Dalmatians wasn't.
It just didn't do that for you. It didn't do that for you.
Mm-mm.
So being that we're talking about music, I want to know, outside of this passion for the Disney movies, what music shows that you enjoy watching and singing along to?
Music shows? Well, of course, American Idol. That was my first.
Really?
That was one of the first music shows. Like, that's what you mean? Like
yeah.
Yeah, that was the first. I mean, that was one of the first competition shows that ever came out. I mean, Star Search was I lied. So I didn't really watch Star Search that much, but
you was too young. Well, he was 3, y'all. He was 3 years old when Star Search.
But I really didn't watch Star Search that much, but I did watch Apollo. So I used to love Apollo, and I used to watch that and sing along with the people if I could.
Okay.
But American Idol was like that show that came out when I was able to like sit and really understand TV and make a connection with the people that on there. So I used to love that.
Okay.
I auditioned for American Idol too.
Come on now, you heard it first, y'all.
I didn't make it past the first round. I just want to. I'm just saying, I want people to know.
We ain't having it, but
it's
whatever.
all good.
We gonna leave it alone. We ain't beefing on this show. We
can't leave it. Well, this is my thing. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And everybody's gift is their gift, and you can't expect everyone to understand your interpretation of art.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then too, as you grow, you're constantly evolving.
Gotcha.
So who I was when I auditioned, I was a senior in high school. Who I was singing then, even though I believed I could sing, it's not who I am now. And I had so much to learn about myself and grow, and a lot of things to embrace that I thought were flaws.
Yeah.
But they were just parts of me that I didn't embrace. So,
okay. So I like that.
So I'm a little better now.
So I know we've told you guys that David sings. He's a musician. He's a vocalist, but he also writes, y'all.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I'm whispering, but I just felt like I needed to whisper it. You have wrote so many good songs, not only for yourself but for other people as well.
Oh, thank you.
Let's talk about this writing. Where does this skill with the pen comes from?
I have no idea. I attribute it to being a Gemini. I do, because and I'm starting to get more and more into astrology and stuff like that. And I mean, I know that Geminis, when I read the description, I really kind of identify with it. And they say that we are the sign of communication and wording, and we're very cerebral and we think. I've always kind of like, I've always pushed myself to find the words to express how I feel.
Gotcha.
In every situation, even now. So maybe that's where. I don't know. Maybe that's where it came from. So.
Look, well, thinking back on your first album, that very first song that you wrote, how did that feel?
So this is a weird question because I can't really. So I didn't really.
Okay, you don't have to go too deep.
No.
But then again, this is To Be Frank, so you can be as straightforward as you need to.
Well,
because you're frankly speaking, but take your time with it. You don't have to go overboard.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I say that to
Disclaimer.
say I don't really remember my first album because I've been recording at home on my own computer since I was 14.
Okay.
And I've just kind of like, been giving it to people, just singles and just burnt CDs.
Okay.
So I consider this album that's dropping next month to be like my legitimate first album.
Y'all, he got an album coming next month.
Yes. David Sylvester, April 2024.
Oh.
Please, y'all, check it out. I'm just so excited about it. I am.
That's dope.
It's been a long time coming. Yeah, but to answer your question as best as I can, thinking about the first couple of songs that I felt confident enough to give to people, how did I feel about it at the time? I thought it was the best thing I
Come
thought
on
it was
now.
the best thing that I ever
Since
heard in my
sliced
life.
bread.
Yeah, and then now that
Since
I'm
X-Men 97.
okay, but now that I'm older and I'm listening with my old ears, I'm like, I can't believe I gave that to people.
Oh,
Burn it, please.
come on now.
So
That's good. Which brings me to evolution. So, when you go from teen life to adult life, you go through different emotions, different seasons, what have you. David singing as a teen to David singing as an adult, what is the biggest
oh
difference?
my God. I just used to try so hard,
Okay.
and that's what I said about growing and finding yourself. Like when I was a teenager, my idea of good singing wasn't found within myself. It was found outside of myself when I would listen to people and hear
Gotcha.
people. So when I would sing, if I couldn't do what they were doing, or if I couldn't sound like this singer or that singer, I was defeated.
Gotcha. Okay.
But now, I've within my evolution, I've reached the point to where I realize that what I am is what it's supposed to be, and if I attempt to do something that someone else did, how it comes out of me is my interpretation of it. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrong.
Right.
It's just my interpretation. Versus when I was a teenager or when I was younger, I would just fight so hard to just, for every run to sound like Beyonce's run, or for every for every ad lib, everything needed to sound just like the people that I was kind of imitating or whatever. So yeah, so that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
And I've realized that I just was trying so hard. The less I try, and I just allow myself to just be who I am and allow my gift to be what it is, the better it sounds.
Okay.
Yeah, the more I'm accepted. Yeah,
I like that a lot,
That's
which
true.
brings me to wondering, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a cappella, or do you prefer melodies behind you? Do you have a preference between the two? Ooh.
Yeah, because it depends. Like I love to be backed up with music, but it needs to be the right music.
Okay.
Because I've been in situations like when I was growing up, whenever I had the opportunity to like sing with a band or whatever, I would just be so excited. All musicians, I'd be so excited to go and do. But then you realize that every band and every musician is different.
Yeah.
And the energy and the feel of their playing, it affects you because it's all vibration, it's all energy,
Gotcha.
So until I started to kind of like learn how to like conduct the band and be like, all right, everybody, like for example, amazing. My grandmother was funeralized this past weekend, and I did. I kind of like did some of the music ministry along with her church, the music ministry from the church, and we have two totally different styles. Although it's all beautiful, but it's almost like I realized that instead of just, if I start a song and I can't expect the musicians to know what I'm going for, but I used to feel like if I tell them something, they might get offended. So I would just kind of like commit to, if we singing it too fast, okay, let me just go with it. Or if we, it's too loud, let me just go with it. But now I've learned how to like, like conduct and tell them like, wait, whoa, and yeah, and it helps. So when I'm backed up with the music that gives me the feel that I'm going for, and musicians that are coachable and want to follow me, because you got some that'll close their eyes and do whatever they want.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sitting, But anyway, so when I got the right music behind me, to answer your question, I love music because it's all
That's a plus. That's a plus. Random. If I put 4 singers in the room with David, who would they be?
4 singers
to do just a song right at the spur of the moment, like right now. If I had to bring 4 singers in the room for you to however you want.
I like my friend.
4 singers. If I had to open that door right now and say, these are the 4 for you to produce a song with at this very given moment, who would those 4 singers be?
That's so hard. You ask me question. It's hard because I don't know if you mean just vocally or like energy wise. Because let me do this.
Go ahead.
So so I'm gonna pick 2 for the writing and 2 for the vocals.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So the 2 that I would pick as far as writing goes is India Arie and Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Pen, like they are a fool with like verbiage. The 2 songs, the people that sing, I would pick Kiki Wyatt.
Jesus, okay.
Let me say Kiki Wyatt. Yes,
I met her in person, and Lord, she's a vibe. She's such a vibe.
I saw a singing person. I didn't meet her, but
She's a
her
vibe.
voice is ridiculous. Her and Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh my goodness. And you know, I'm the ultimate Jasmine Sullivan fan. I love me some Jasmine. Shout out to my friend Chanel Carter. I gotta just take a break and give her a shout out. She was the very first person to bring me to a Jasmine Sullivan concert for my birthday, VIP. And when I tell y'all, I got to listen to Jasmine Sullivan singing in her sound check before the concert even. And I was mesmerized. Listen, like, I just, oh my goodness. And she did like this one song and she was sitting on a stool. I don't even remember the words. I was just so captivated. It just like, she's just the best.
She
like
another
I
one that
just
can sing the ABC. She don't even need words.
Oh yeah, she can sing the alphabet to me, and I'd be like, "Yes, come on, JKLW, yes,
Yeah.
like just sing it." But yeah, so that was I like those answers, I really do. So we're gonna keep this show rolling,
I'm ready.
and we want to know that, well, not want to know, we want to let you guys know rather. Not only David is an outstanding musician, he's an all-round entertainer.
Oh.
That is something that we definitely don't want to leave out.
Pumping me up.
And I am
Pumping me up.
and I am grateful to say two things. Number one, David is who David is. David is not just one where he's going to give you this entertainment on stage. He's actually going to get off the stage and entertain you. And what I mean that is he does not make you feel like a number. He actually makes you feel as if you're somebody because you are actually somebody. Which brings me to a question that is, when it comes down to those that support you as an entertainer, what do you view them more as? Fans or supporters?
Supporters. That's a good question. Yeah, because I even tell people when they say I'm your number one fan, and I was like, I would like I correct them, but then I don't want to take away their, you know. But I tell them I look at you as a supporter. I don't look at
good.
Yeah, because a fan. But I don't think fan has a negative connotation though.
Okay.
I want to say that though, definitely. But supporter just sounds so much more personal.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I definitely look at you.
That's good. So back to what I was saying, he's an all-round entertainer. And the reason why I'm saying he's an all-round entertainer, primarily because I had the opportunity, thank you, Lord, of working alongside David for the Dreamgirls production. That was by New Venture Theater. That was our very first time partnering, and he was Jimmy. He played Jimmy, and he played the I don't know what out of Jimmy. Yeah, them women going crazy.
That's so
Jimmy cut up. And it was so cool because I've grown to see David sing. I've seen you to play the keys, but for you to actually act the character that's totally opposite of you, I was like, sir, you better show up and show out.
Thank you.
When it comes down to that particular field in entertaining, do you see yourself ever revisiting acting anytime soon?
Definitely. I have they have a young lady who reached out to me who wrote a gospel stage play in Texas. I think mid Texas. I don't know exactly the city she's from.
Okay.
But she put it on already, but she's trying to bring it back to the stage, and the lead character is a singer, you know, and he's a singer that used to sing in church. He's turning blues, and she had been hearing my music, and she wants me to star in the production.
Okay.
So she's working that out for the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So yeah, I love acting though. Actually, my bachelor's degree is in theater.
Come on,
So,
y'all heard it first.
Yeah. So I love
theater.
acting. I love storytelling. I love film too. Yeah. So
come on.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna be singing and doing music for the rest of my life. I plan on it, but you know, my number one thing that I want to do in life is filmmaking. Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I want to write, direct, and cast and create the scores and the musical, you know, numbers and the soundtrack.
Come on,
for my film. Yeah, I want to do that. I want it to be just as big a production as I can make it. So
that's fire. You hearing exclusively on To Be Frank.
Definitely.
Exclusive. So David, tell us, when it comes down, now you mentioned about those Disney movies, you know, like when it comes down to acting, what is one genre that you love that you would love to see yourself in?
Sci-fi.
What?
Sci-fi.
I am
fantasy.
shocked. I'm
shocked.
Yeah.
Why are you shocked?
I'm shocked because I was thinking you would do either action, violence, or like a drama suspense. Like
That's
that's
cool
what I
too.
honestly thought. But sci-fi, I think caught me off guard.
I
Okay,
love stuff. Like
okay,
I'm very attracted to all things like supernatural
okay.
and just life after death. Even the books I read is just a lot of love, like near death experiences, all of these things. I love that, and I think that there's something to be said about the the area or the things in life that we don't know because we are not privy to that. And but also too, there's something to be said about the imagination. You know,
Okay.
if you when you could create worlds like I forgot his name, but with Marvel, how he created the world of X-Men,
Okay.
and how the people that created the world of Narnia and the people that created the world of the Wizard of Oz, like to create worlds where you can bring people in and they really feel like it's another dimension. Like
Gotcha.
I think that's so fascinating to me, and it takes a level of imagination that I want. You
Okay.
know, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my next question is embracing, and is really focusing on embracing yourself.
Mhm.
What is one area in your life that you love more about yourself now that you didn't love 5 years ago?
I love that I'm a thick man.
Okay.
I mean, and I still have my insecurities with my, like, some things about my body here and there and third and the third,
Okay.
I've grown to appreciate, being like stocky and like just that, the guy that's like usually the biggest in the room, or,
Okay.
like the whatever. Yeah. So
Solid.
yeah,
Solid,
solid.
solid.
Like the guy with big features, like, my nose, my lips, and African feet, because growing up in America, as an African American, especially when we were growing up, we had not addressed those issues of representation, and American standard of beauty was still very much so European. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Small, skinny nose, and the lips, and everything.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I'm still reprogramming my mind to understand that all features are beautiful or have beauty,
Gotcha.
but I could say that that's one of the biggest things, though, that just my physical appearance, looking at myself and seeing the beauty that's there, and not feeling like, dang, I wish this was smaller, I wish this was lighter, or, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So,
And embracing is everything, because a lot of times people get caught up with, oh, I don't look this certain way, so I guess I can't do this and I can't do that, and it's like, what advice would you give to somebody that's watching right now that, they've been looking at the physical aspect of themselves for so long, but they know internally they're fine, but it's like they just don't want to embrace
They can't
themselves
get past that.
externally. Yeah. What advice would you give to that individual?
I would say the only reason you can't do anything is you. There's
that's
nothing
good.
else standing in. There's literally nothing else standing in your way. I look at people like Gabrielle Shutterbeck. What's her name? Gabrielle Sinner. What's her name? She played Precious.
Okay.
Yeah. And I say that to say, I could only imagine, and I don't know her life, but just thinking about her and her physical features and her weight, her being that girl in third or fourth grade telling somebody, God gave me a vision and I'm gonna be a movie star.
Right.
I could imagine what people were telling her, not even to be mean,
Right.
but just based on their own limitations, like saying, baby, I could see Sarah being a movie star, but I want to I want to try to get you ready for the disappointment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because she believed and she went to the auditions and she believed, the universe. And when I say the universe, that's a whole nother thing. But God created the universe, and the universe created the part. He sent. The universe had this role set aside just for her.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to tell people. Like, no matter who you are or what limitations you think that you have or what you place on yourself, if you have a desire in you to do something, or if your spirit is being called towards something, God created that in you for a reason. And if the desire is created, then the solution for the desire or the actual manifestation of desire has also been created.
That's good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and you're the only one that can stand into exactly. So,
I love that.
yeah,
I really do. I really do. So when it comes down to embracing, once again, in your alone time, what does David do for wellness? Like
sleep. I sleep. When I tell you I do, I will sleep. I get a
come on,
lot. I
hibernation.
get a lot of sleep, and I used to feel bad because also I grew up in a period where people made you feel like you had to work.
Yeah,
If the sun come
all
up,
grind.
if you don't have nothing else to do, even if you put your energy towards something and you're making these projects and this and that,
Yeah.
there's a certain amount of time that if you just sitting in the day doing nothing, then you're lazy and you need to
Mm,
find something to do. And I'm divorcing myself from that
that's
mentality.
good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. That's
Because
good.
because when I do work, I give a lot of energy to my work,
Yeah.
and so on my downtime, if I don't have anything to do and I could still, afford a little bit more sleep, my body's telling me like, hey, you could go for another 2 or 3 hours.
Right. Right.
I lay down and I allow myself to drift. I don't even force myself. I lay there and I allow my mind to wander and I drift off. And yeah, so I give myself that.
That's good.
I'm just not as hard on myself
Hmm.
as I used to be because there are no rules other
Right.
than the rules that we make for ourselves. I believe.
That's good.
I do. Yeah, I
I
believe
I
that.
really really like that a lot because we tend to put ourselves in these boxes that we don't need to be in. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
like who's telling you to package yourself that way? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you're different. You're not meant to be in that certain container. Who
Yeah.
putting that cap on you like that?
Yes.
You don't need to be on
Yeah.
that particular cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which brings me to my next question. So we're both from the same hometown,
Yeah.
though. We're both from the same hometown, Appaloosa, Louisiana. And one of the myths that I've discussed previously on one of my episodes is simple fact. People tend to say, "Oh, nothing good comes out of Appaloosas." And I remember the very first time I said that, the very first time I heard someone say that, rather, I did not accept it right then
Mm,
and there
mm,
because I'm like, number one, I'm not a product of my environment.
yeah,
This environment was designed for me
yeah,
to build and grow
yeah,
in.
yeah.
And I recall growing up seeing all these mentors that I looked up to because I mean that's what influenced me to want to get into public speaking, just to get
Mhm.
in the entertainment field, period. I mean, one in particular, Darla Montgomery. Darla, I
Yeah,
got to give you a shout out, my girl. Like you
definitely.
truly, truly, truly was a trailblazer for me growing up, watching you on the screen, pushing, just seeing you push me to be in the position that I'm in right now. And to know that you're a native of our hometown, I mean, I got to give you kudos. But no ifs, no ifs and buts about it. I definitely, when it comes to that, David, I want to know how do you feel about that myth? Because I definitely want to salute you because what I'm about to mention in a few, get ready, just stay tuned. But I want to commend you because it's like no matter what is going on in our area, you have continued to soar, and
Mm,
that's a plus.
thank you.
No matter how often, no matter how light, you've constantly just been on that coast. So, saying all to say, how do you feel about that myth that nothing good comes from Appaloosas?
Well, I mean, but I think that there's pros and cons to everything,
Mm,
And I mean, even though, like I said again, we live in a day and age where the media and everybody else kind of like hyper focuses on all the negative,
yeah.
But it's the most beautiful of things come from the dirtiest environments. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah, like you got. I mean, not to look down on wealthy people, but I often say,
Mm,
you pull a whole bunch of kids together that came from a very wealthy background and never had to struggle or go through anything or never been exposed to
right.
anything their whole lives. 9 times out of 10, they're spoiled brats. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it just, and not all of them, because I'm not saying everybody with money is spoiled, but I am saying that type of environment, too
Mm-hmm.
much of it will create a negative result.
Mm-hmm.
And in the opposite, if somebody come from the projects in the hood and that's all they were, exposed to was just violence and this and that,
Mm-hmm.
a large percentage of them, too much of it will produce negative.
Right.
But you have the ones that have the balance.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ones that have experienced like a whole bunch of, like hood stuff and violence and all this stuff, but because they experienced that, they desired something different,
Yeah.
right? And because they were able to like see the Dollar Montgomerys or like the
Mm-hmm.
the one or two people here and there, or even the
Right.
television shows that
Right.
showed them that they were different. They pushed themselves to be different. So that's where I come from. Like whenever negative things happen in my community, if anything, it pushes me even harder to enjoy the positive,
Yeah.
and not even to make it positive because there is positive there. There is, there are things there that's beautiful. So it just it pushes me to find and focus on the beauty of it whenever people are focusing on the negative because it is what it is. But I mean, but you got people gonna say, oh,
Yeah, and I don't let that
Yeah.
get to me, but I like to, when it comes down to speaking to individuals from our area, I like to hear,
No,
their
definitely.
perspective and their point of view, because
Yeah.
a lot of times people tend to get, discouraged, and they're like, oh, it's not like it used to be. But that's the thing, it's not supposed to be like it
No,
used to
it's
be.
constantly
It's
changing.
like you're supposed to grow,
Yep.
like you're supposed to come
Evolve,
out the box, like you're not
constant
supposed to
evolution.
just keep going at that same pace. And the reason why I brought that up, because David's been nominated for not one but 2 awards with the Southern Tea Awards. And y'all know an episode is coming up really, really soon with Destiny Living, so stay tuned for that. Congratulations on you being nominated for not one but 2 categories. Tell us your reaction when you found out you was nominated for those 2 awards, especially being now that you're singing Lonely Hearts.
Lonely Hearts, yeah. Listen, praise
Look,
God.
that's the little jam now. That's the jam. I ain't
Thank you,
lying.
man. I'm
Okay.
glad people are, I'm glad it's resonating with people. But my
Yeah.
reaction, I was excited and humbled. Now
Yeah.
I find out that my music or my influence, like, it's like it's helping people, or people are, it feels really good. It feels like, because I've been, like I tell people, a lot of people think that I just kind of like started doing this, or
You've
like
been singing.
yeah, like I've been putting out music and singing and
Singing.
everything. I mean, the quality of the music probably has
Oh.
not been as good. No, seriously, like, because I just would be making music and putting it out. I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for people to mix and master my stuff. I was like, I just wanted to write.
Yeah.
And when I heard my stuff come, I was like, okay, here. But I've been doing this a while, and it feels good now that people are, like, more people are being exposed to it and saying that they're being helped and inspired and encouraged by my messages and my music and my voice. That means so much to me. I mean, that's I don't know. It's a dream come true.
Come on, that's a vibe.
Yeah,
That's a
dream come
vibe.
true.
So David, tell us about the new album that's coming up. I know you can't give us full details, but just tell us, like, what should listeners expect with this new project
I'm
that you have
excited.
coming up?
Well, the new project is 85 to 90% Southern soul, right?
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Now I can
ish.
play that in my classes.
Yeah, because I like that, and I'm working with some very, very great musicians and producers and engineers, and that's the thing that I could say about this project that's different than my other projects. The other projects and mixtapes were me just kind of doing it by myself. So, like I said, there were areas that I focused on, like my writing and singing, that I want, but then the other areas, there were areas that kind of like fell by the wayside.
Gotcha.
But now we have a team, a very good team of people that are that believe in my music,
Okay.
and that love my music, that are coming together to make sure that I give the best representation of my gift as I possibly can with this project. So that's what I'm really excited about. And of course, I'm excited about the music and the songs, because I wrote all of the songs on the project. And when it comes to storytelling, I love the stories that I'm telling on this project. I love the transparency of, like, the certain situations that I've experienced, that I get to kind of like sing about on this project. And the music, it's just
Come on, it's a vibe.
it's just feel good music. Yeah, so I'm really
Yeah. So you mentioned at the beginning of the interview about how you're in a new light now. Like, most folks been seeing you, singing in the whole spiritual realm, churches, all of that, weddings, all of that whatnot. And now you're on the whole Southern soul approach. I mean,
in the nightclubs with the women touching me. That's what I mean. That's the biggest difference.
Not gyrating on you,
They
not
gyrate,
gyrating.
their hands be exploring.
What do you feel is the key difference in the two for you?
When
like, we see the sound is still there.
Oh,
it's gonna always be there.
Though from your lips to God's ears.
Though, what do you feel is the key difference?
Just having to connect with my audience, because in church, even though people may connect with my selections or my music while I'm singing, I don't be worried about people. Sitting behind the piano playing and singing, or even if somebody's playing for me. When I sing in church, I usually close my eyes, and I kind of like focus on my own personal journey and God and my relationship with God. I don't let people into it visually. Like, I may not make eye contact, but you can witness the love letter that I'm singing to God. Okay. But I'm not worried about entertaining you. I'm not worried about you. If you're not focused or paying attention, I don't know. I don't care.
Right.
But now it's like, as an entertainer, in the clubs and in these different environments, it's almost like I have more of a responsibility to connect with my audience and take them on a journey and a ride. And sometimes they be with me, sometimes they don't, especially starting out. I mean, now that Lonely Hearts is doing so well and some of my other songs are doing well, I have like a group of people at least at every performance that are giving me good energy.
Okay.
But there was like a little period in time where I was paying my dues, of course, where, I'm singing and people talking and doing whatever they want to do. And I couldn't just kind of like back up and close my eyes and go into my own thing. I still had to like, give to them. I still have to, because, the music is for them and whatnot. So that's the biggest,
That's dope.
It can be a challenge sometimes.
That's really, really dope. So before we close this interview, David, I really want you to let our viewers know, what are your top 3 songs?
Top 3 songs for me?
No, just in general. Like when you hear the word music, what are 3 songs that really speak to you? I know it's a plethora that you have, but just the minute you hear music.
2 comes to mind right now. Definitely Wildflower by Newbert and Zoom by the Commodores.
Okay.
And my 3rd song.
This is good, y'all. This is some real good stuff. I know y'all about to get on Apple Music, Spotify, and all that stuff, and listen to those songs.
Zoom by the Commodores is everything. Both of those, Zoom by the Commodores and Wildflower by Newbert, and Grace by Anthony Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a new one. And when I heard that song, man, when I tell you that song, man, it's my soul. It's everything.
Come on, man.
That man, like, he's always been a good singer, and the songs that he comes out with are nice. But that song,
it gets you right.
Grace by Anthony Brown.
Come on, man.
Do yourself a favor. Check it out.
Y'all heard it first. He said for y'all to check all of it, not just some of it.
Yeah.
So, David, before I ask you what's next and how people can follow you, do you want to give people just a little snippet of you singing, or you want them to just go ahead and search you?
I mean, I can sing. I just wouldn't even know what.
Just give them a little, just a little, if you feel like you don't have to.
But I do. My mind just be going blank whenever I have to do it.
Just give them. Go ahead, whatever you feel.
From here to climb, I've had so weary day. Sleepless nights, but when I look around, it's all good. And I think things over. All of my good days, all in my bad days. I won't complain.
Come on now.
Just a little bit.
Insert audio effect on whatnot. I said, look, I bet you gonna give us one of those spiritual throwbacks, and just I knew it was coming, but I mean, hey, you did that, you tore it up, ain't it? Like, look, come on now. So, David, what is next besides the album? Is there anything else that you would like our viewers to know that you have next up and coming? No, that's really it.
I don't really know. I have a few projects that I'm thinking about getting started. Like, I would love to start a youth choir, a youth community choir, children's and youth in my community. But that's still in a very infancy state. Like, it's still in my mind. I'm working it out. But yeah, like I said, the acting and stuff that's coming. But again, I don't have any like concrete dates or anything for that. So no, just this album. This album is being released, and I got a lot of performances and stuff coming up. So.
Come on, making it do what it do. Yeah. So, David, those that are watching, how can they stay in touch with you? How can they follow you? How can they book you?
David Sylvester on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram, but it's more so on Facebook. I have a lot of content on there. David Sylvester, and also the David Sylvester Band. You could kind of do a search on that too. I'm out there under that as well.
Okay. Well, this is the right note, y'all. Literally, the right note. David, on behalf of the To Be Frank fam, we definitely want to thank you for being a phenomenal guest on the show today. We really, really, really enjoyed you. a lot.
Appreciate
So
that.
y'all know the drill. Say what you got to say the first time, not the next time. It's your boy Corey J wrapping up another episode of To Be Frank, the podcast. Frankly speaking, it had to be said. Peace.